What's going on, everybody, and welcome to another amazing episode of your favorite podcast, Real Talk Atlanta. We're your hosts, River the Realtor.
I'm Ashley LeRae.
And I'm Taisha Renee.
And we are back with, as DJ Khaled would say,
another one. I haven't seen DJ Khaled in a while.
Where you been at?
I actually just seen that man, not in person, but he was on the internet doing something crazy. I was like,
I wonder how Assad is doing.
He richer than me. I can't worry about that.
Exactly.
I just can't.
Not concerned. Living his best life.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, peak of the week. What y'all ladies got going?
Go ahead, Ashley. You go first.
I guess I can go first. I had one closing out of 2 this month. So I'm super excited. The closing went really good. I'm so happy she's in her house. So I guess that's my peak. Both of them were new construction. I've just been waiting like months for them to close. Oh my gosh. It's like agonizing, like waiting. But when you finally get there, it's a good time.
It's a good feeling.
Yeah.
Go, River. I'm still thinking.
I'm screaming. Okay, it's like a double folded peak. I had 2 closings today. One in Chicago, one in Atlanta.
Hey,
Congrats.
dual license. Who this?
And I had a closing scheduled for September that got moved up to next week.
That's great.
I'm gonna have 4 closings in August. I'm super happy about it.
That's amazing.
Yeah, new construction is never on time. So
Never.
early.
Yeah, they've been early. What's going on?
I'm going to say that too because I had a new construction that was for September. What community is this? Hold on, anyway. But is that it's in August?
It's in
now.
Noonan, girl.
Okay, yeah. It was supposed to be September and now it's August.
Is it DRB though?
No, it's DR Horton actually.
Okay, so it's DRB.
The Fairburn one?
Yeah.
Yeah, she was supposed to close September.
the one in
She's now
Fairburn?
closing in August.
Yeah, yours
Is the one in
too?
Fairburn?
Yeah,
Mm-hmm.
now we're closing on the 31st.
Because we in the same community.
I was
Yeah.
trying to
It's the
get in
same
there,
one,
but they
yeah.
building them too fast and now they all gone.
Oh, I didn't think
Like
about
because
that.
they was building so fast, it brought
What,
the
Osage
inventory
City
up.
Road?
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Oh, wow.
Oh no, I thought it was Oakhurst Glen. Okay, anyway, we
Oh,
talking
They
no.
about.
been sold out.
No, they had some more stuff like last week.
They had some stuff come up.
Not
from,
a new
like,
phase.
stuff. Yeah.
Oh, okay. Sorry, we getting
Sorry, too
too
much
real
estate.
estate-y. So this episode, actually, y'all, I'm super excited because this is actually well, first of all, Nika, we love you.
We love you, Nika.
She'll be back next week. This is a continuation of our commission conversation. I feel like the girls was kind of in the uproar when we was talking about that money.
Okay, y'all was going up in the comment.
And it was like a couple of things we didn't get to talk about. 2 things that I really, really wanted to touch on. So this is part 2 of the commission. And then, I'm going to put a little Carisha because I got some smoke for y'all later. So let's just jump right in. I think one of the big things we did not get to talk about was leases.
Oh, yes.
And that's got to be a big one, y'all, because leases to me require a lot of work for even less pay. And so I wanted to kind of talk to y'all about leasing commission. If y'all even deal with leases and then talk about, how we get paid from that and, expectation of clients on the lease commission part.
Yeah. I can go on about leases. Yes, I do work with leases. That was something like when I first got my license that I was doing a lot. But like you said, I think with leases, we do the same amount of work as we do a sale and then don't get paid anything. Like literally a commission on a lease deal might be like, I think the lowest I've seen was like $99 maybe even
99.
I was about to say that's actually $1 less than what I saw, which was $100.
Like, yeah, it's crazy. Like the gas that I put in my car to even do those showings doesn't even cover that
It costs
at all.
$1 my truck. So.
Yeah, like it's insane. So with leases, I think it's good for agents. With me personally, I charge my clients a fee of first month's rent for any lease transaction because like I said, we're doing a lot of the same work. We still have to show you houses, still write the contracts, still negotiate. It's a ton of stuff that we have to do.
Not to mention when you get denied.
Oh, girl.
Then we got to do it again.
And they still want a closing gift. So, it is what it is.
You see me? I'm like, well, hold on.
Hold on
second.
now.
I do a little something, but I think it also depends. I think you brought up a good thing with leasing. It's like the commission is not like purchase commission where we have like a fee that we're like used to getting. It's really like a anything goes type of business. So if I have a $5,000 lease and I only want to give $50, I can do that. And then it's like us as realtors, we're put in a position like, my client really loves this house, but I know if they go with this house, I'm going to make $50. Do I even do that? Like, do I even put myself in that position? Now y'all got us over here thinking about being unethical. It just be too much. But then don't nobody want to pay for the service. And I just never understood that.
I haven't worked with leases, not because I don't want to. I just haven't. Then the closest thing I had to lease is lease to own, which is like, of course, we still get paid just like a regular standard real estate commission. If I were to do leases though, just based off of what I be hearing y'all saying, I'm definitely charging some type of retainer fee.
For sure.
Whether it's first month's rent or I just set a fee, something's getting charged.
Yeah.
Because me making $99 is really just crazy to me.
Not
I
to
just
mention,
can't
you still got to pay an FMLS fee if the lease was on the MLS. And
you're lying.
No, I think that's what people don't understand.
So really, you made $50.
Yeah.
I
and
told
taxes,
the lady to keep the $100 because by the time she wired it, they had like a wiring fee, and then they took the FMLS fee, and then I had to pay taxes. I was like,
and your broker gets their percent.
I was like, yo, just it's pro bono. I don't care.
And now that I think about it, you guys, I'm not gonna lie. I lied. The lowest I've seen was not $99. The lowest I've seen was $1. I'm not kidding. It was a company.
I knew that company, and they be like, "It's not a mistake.
It's not a mistake.
It says $1."
In the comments on the listing, they'll say that commission is not a mistake.
I saw that. I'm not gonna lie. I didn't show my client the house,
I
and I
saw
won't.
that.
Yeah.
I saw that one time too.
Again, like, and I'm typically like pretty. I hate to use the word picky, but a lot of times, like, I'm so busy with the deals that I have. So for me to spend more time on a lease deal, I like to pick and choose, which ones I end up working with. So sometimes, and a lot of agents do this where they only work with leases that may be like $3,000 enough or something, luxury leases only. So there are agents who do that too. I mean, people have to realize this is our livelihood, this is our job, and how we get paid. So whatever.
Yeah.
No,
I
mean, it kind of is. And every agent has the right to do whatever they want to do as far as like their standards and their practices. But with leases, I think it makes sense.
Yeah, honestly, I have like a whole leasing sector of my business that is not predominantly ran by me. So I am able to take some of those lower leases. I get it. Like my first time renting here, my rent was $1,400 and I was pissed. So it's like, I get it, especially now with the price being up. But I think everybody has to get into the mindset that you have to pay to play. If you want my time, and if you could find a lease apartment yourself, you would have done that. You would have called me.
Yes.
So if you want the service, you do got to pay for it.
Right.
And that's it.
Because I never understood, don't get me wrong, like I'm a realtor. Of course, I want you guys to work with me. But sometimes it's like, for an apartment, you don't need a realtor for an apartment.
No. Yes, you do. Call me, please.
It's like you can literally walk in there, at least with all the apartments I had. I mean, I'm just saying,
like,
of course, call me.
Calm down.
And it's also because a lot of apartments don't even work with realtors in the first place. So that's also why agents will charge their clients, because a lot of apartments don't work with them. They have the staff there who they pay
to do that.
Yeah, exactly. So
when I moved here, I used ProMove.
Yeah. Oh, I've worked with
I'm not trying to promote other people's business, but
you can. They only pay 12.5%.
And I got paid. And when you mention their name, they pay you. I got like $100. Thank you.
And it's like, that means a lot. Yeah. When I'm moving in, that's my toilet paper, tissue.
Exactly.
Yes. I think every dollar counts. And I think just like anything else, like if leasing was just that easy and we didn't deserve to get paid, you probably shouldn't have reached out for our services. I feel like at any time you reach out to us to do a service for you, you have to have something in your spirit that is okay with paying us.
Right. Yeah.
And if it's not, like, maybe align your spirit elsewhere.
Something in your spirit and something in your wallet, your checking account.
Open your heart and your account.
Y'all are funny.
No, I'm dead. So that's the thing with leasing. Like I said, it's just one of those things where it's like pay to play, or, play by yourself.
Yeah. Now it's different if you have a client who owns their home and now they want to lease it out. Like, that's a little different.
What? You still got to pay.
No, you got to pay, but I meant the conversation is different for them. Like, it's better to use a realtor. That's different. To find a tenant to put into the home.
I agree. Yeah. Because there's a lot of stuff that goes into it, like the whole background check and like vetting the client. Like, again, anytime you use a realtor service, there are resources that go in, and those resources are not free. So if you are like a landlord client and you want a tenant in your place, like, you want a realtor to be able to vet through the process, move in, move out inspections. Like, it's a lot of things that you don't want to be liable for that we kind of help guide the process for.
Even contracts, like landlords don't know how to write contracts, a lot of them. So like, we handle all that stuff. So I think for a landlord, as far as leasing, it's very important to use a realtor.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah, I have a landlord horror story. We can do like an episode on horror stories, because I cannot wait to tell you
that would be
so good.
Okay, next episode.
That would be cute.
But anyway, another part of commissions that I think a lot of people overlook, it goes back to the purchase thing, but it's that FSBO, or for sale by owners. So a for sale by owners, essentially like when you as a property owner say, I don't need a real estate agent, I'm going to sell my property for myself because I don't want to pay.
Ha.
You going to pay something. Somebody got to
That's all I got to say.
Yeah. That's it. Cut the cameras.
Because most times, again, that goes back to contracts. Like, you do not have access. How are you going to sell it by yourself? How do for sale by owners sell it by themselves?
There's a lot.
I'm sure the buyer at least has someone that they're working with. You have to compensate this person, because 9 times out of 10, not only have they bought you a buyer, but they're also probably going to be handling your paperwork.
And you want to say that, right? You have to compensate, but the truth is, no, you don't. And people know that. Like, you don't have to do anything you want to do. And I think that's the mentality for a first sale by owner. It's like, well, this is my house. I know what it's worth. I put a sign in the yard. You come ring the bell. I don't care that you have a realtor. This is my house. I'm going to call an attorney. We're going to settle it that way and just be done with it. But there are so many moving parts that might get skipped. You trying to skip out on your 6% commission. Child.
Yeah. Yeah, it's just idiotic is the only word I could think of. I mean, especially when you're handling like one of your biggest assets, that's not something to play around with. So the fact that you wouldn't seek like professional counsel, to me, it just doesn't make sense.
Because how are they finding it? Is it like someone just drives by your house, or maybe you put it on? Can they put it on
or something?
But nowadays, it's a scam. People probably gonna think it's a scam if you're not represented and you just have your house listed. People are probably going to think that's a scam. Like, this is not real. Like, you're not really selling your house.
And a lot of people think, like, just because they bought a home before, like, now they're real estate experts.
Right.
And they know all the ins and outs of the business. And that's just not the case. Like, I don't know who told you that. That's not the case.
Think about all the different steps that are going to get skipped if you don't have a realtor. Like, you listed your house. Like, you probably took those pictures on your phone. So
you wouldn't mirror.
That was first step.
Right.
Wrong.
Do you want this house? Then it's like you're not even able to really get on the MLS. Because without agents, you cannot list your home on the MLS.
Right.
That's where the bulk of our clients find their homes. Contracts, like Ashley said, yes, you can get an attorney, but explain the contract to the buyer, the seller. Then you go through these problems of like, you're not telling the buyer everything that they need because they don't have representation. You don't have representation.
That's legal stuff too.
Inspections come up. You don't know how to navigate that. So it's like all of these missteps. And a lot of times you're not going to get to the finish line by missing steps or like, not disclosing all the information that we as real estate agents disclose to our clients.
Right.
And attorneys represent the lenders. So
That's true.
They can't advise you anyway.
That is very true. I'm even thinking just because me as an agent, I'm on my phone and my computer 24/7, like taking care of my clients. Whereas a seller who's trying to sell their home on their own, they might have a 9-to-5 job or they might be with their kids at soccer practice from 4 to 8 p.m. And now you have people interested in your home and you're missing out on calls. You're not able to get to everyone.
Right.
Like the communication is probably terrible.
And so is the price because you priced it wrong. And I'm just
and that's why they think it's a scam.
That's why they think they like, get this house for $9.99. Like, girl, what are y'all doing? Like, I think the first sale by owner mentality is low key, high key, kind of selfish. I think it's like, I get it in some instances where like maybe you bought a home and then something happens and you have to move and there's really not enough room for commission. For you to like break even or get your money back. I get that. And I have worked with some people in that case where it was just like, the return is not there, but whatever. I'm thinking about the future value. But when you've been living in your house and it's paid off and you about to get $300,000 back and you trying to tell me you don't want to pay a commission to have people do the job and do it correctly because you don't want to lose money, I just have nothing for you.
Yeah.
Anyway,
never recommend it. And a lot of times they end up leaving money on the table too.
Plenty of it.
Most times they end up with an agent. So
most times they leave the commission on the table.
Yeah,
like you could have just paid it and had less of a headache, but you are trying to cut corners and save money. Like you are not Walmart. Stop trying to save money and live better. It does not work that way. Like it makes my skin crawl, ladies, and I think we just got to do a little bit better. So I feel like leasing and for sale by owners were like two of the main things we did not talk about, but in the words of my girl, Carisha.
We getting into the smoke.
I want to get into the smoke real quick behind this commission because I feel like this was such a hot topic. One thing I found out was that when you have a VA client, and for those who don't know, VA is like veterans. So if you're Army, military, whatever, you've worked X amount of time, you get that VA loan. VA clients cannot pay any type of commission. No fees, nothing. And so do y'all think that it is fair that there's this one subset group that cannot pay any type of compensation no matter what y'all have done for that client?
Immediately, no. Immediately.
Okay, talk about it. What's up?
Yeah,
I mean, what makes... No, I'm not going to say that.
They fought for the country.
That don't mean they don't pay. I mean, they already get free food on holidays. I mean, no down payment. So, I mean, when you're talking about a service... I think you have to pay people for their time. I'm not saying they have to pay anything, but like you said, anything could happen in a transaction. So the fact that they're not allowed to, like, how are y'all going to tell them how they can spend their money? What if your client wants to? wants to give you your commission. Like you
aligned.
work super hard, you know, like you learned the hard way maybe. So, I mean, I think to put parameters on it, of course, I understand and respect veterans. Like, I get that.
Respect everybody.
Yeah, of course. Yeah. But to put parameters on like, no, you cannot pay an agent any commission. I don't know about that.
I'm aligned
it's a
because
service.
all I kept thinking was like, not you can get paid for your service, but I can't.
Yeah.
And I don't mean that in a bad way, but I don't think this just for VA clients. I kind of think it's for everybody. I think that no matter who you are not above properly compensating somebody for their time. And I think that's like the overarching theme with being an entrepreneur, being in a commission-based job. Like everybody wants to say how much you should get paid or what you should be compensated, but I don't ever see those same parameters on how much of my time I should give you or how many of my resources I can. So it's like, I just never understand why commission is so structured in a way that like we're boxed in and should only be able to hit certain dollar amounts to do certain things.
Like just like with the leasing, like we were talking about that one company, and you know who I'm talking about, who only gives agents $1 for lease commissions. If I had a VA client and I just got paid $1,
there's nothing you can do.
Yeah, like I would cry like under a bridge. I'd be so sad.
In the rain with a sweat on.
Okay.
Yeah. But just enlist me at this point. I need a new career.
Enlist is crazy, Ashley. Please. I could not see Ashley's in salute.
I don't know. I'm over here going back and forth in my head. Like, I don't know.
Really?
I don't know.
What's like the thing that's toggling you in between?
I think for me, it's because I don't know.
Think about that $1.
Granted, we're not doing $1. That's just not.
Yeah.
You won't see that house. I'm sorry. But I don't know. I think it's because I've only thinking from a buyer perspective, right? Because I mean, of course, if you list the house, you still get paid. That's just for
that's
buyers.
Different. It's like you can't pay like commission, like buyer commission,
yes.
not seller commission.
Yeah, I think it's because I haven't started charging my buyers yet. I don't see how it affects me right now. But I'm thinking about in the future when I do start charging buyers, like, okay, I have this one-off buyer. I'm used to getting X amount.
Yeah.
Now I can't get X amount because, you're a VA buyer.
Or even think about there are some houses.
Think about those communities. We did a deal like this when we first kind of got into real estate. The commission was half of what the normal percentage is.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying.
And then you got to pay the remainder. Yeah, I don't think it's fair. I don't think it's fair, but like.
What can we do?
It's really nothing we could do. Like, are you not going to work with the VA buyer?
Of course not. I just hope the government sees this and makes some changes.
Yeah, I think we should call
Don't
Biden.
implement that on nothing else, though.
No, seriously.
You keep it on VA and VA only. Don't put it on another loan type. If it's just VA, okay, because I know you guys get discounts. You fought for our country.
I'm with it.
Amazing. Yeah. Great. I'm thank you for your service.
But nobody else.
This is my
gift.
My gift to you. You don't have to pay me. Thank you for your service.
As much. Like, let's
not as
scale back.
The seller will. But
I think we should write to your fellow soror, Miss Harris.
Oh,
you need to abolish that.
Ski-wee. Anyway. No, okay. So second question. I love how you brought up the whole thing about buyers being compensated. So we know that like buyers, I'm not compensated, buyers having to pay. Typically being a buyer means no commission. There's no fees. Obviously now with just changes in the way we're compensated, buyers have been getting charged. So do you guys feel like in our industry, as people are like climbing the ladder, they're kind of, I don't use the term abused, but they're maybe like taking more advantage of the fact that they're in a certain position in their career and like overcharging buyers?
That happens. You asking us how do we feel about that?
Well, first of all, do y'all see
That's too controversial for me.
These
questions
I
want
the she wants to smoke for real.
For me.
I'm going to let you go first, Taisha.
Say it again.
What was here? Okay, like as buyers are starting to be charged for commission, of course, we were kind of talking about like buyers, filling in the gaps when our commission is low.
Yeah.
But now we've been seeing buyers being charged like over.
To work with certain agents. Because they feel like, I'm worth even more than the industry standard. Like, how do y'all feel about that?
I feel like, I don't think it's unfair. I feel like as an agent, you charge what you want to charge. Like, in your consultation, you're telling your buyers, like, listen, like, this is my fee. And if the buyer say, hey, I'm okay with this, then that's my fee. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Like, I don't think it's overcharging because there's really not a cap on what we can make as agents. You know what I'm saying? Like the potential is endless. Unless it's VA. The potentials are endless. So I feel like if I tell you that this is my fee and you're like, okay, Okay.
Yeah.
No, it's not overcharging. This is my fee. You can either work with me or you can choose someone else.
Yeah.
So,
I mean, there's a million other agents who don't charge a fee. So I get that. I mean, there's as entrepreneurs.
No, because that's my answer. I'm not gonna lie. That's my answer. Nika brought this up last week when she was talking about not last week, on the first commission episode about the different packages. And I feel like if you're gonna not overcharge, but upcharge rather, I think you should be up giving services.
Exactly.
That's my only thing. Like if I see a realtor who is literally still doing nothing, you were doing nothing before, you're doing nothing now, but now your nothing is double the price. Like I think that's just OD crazy. Like if you are still providing like basic services, I think it's not fair to use your stature to like overcharge a buyer. I get it. Like I get it, but then it's also like, bro, what's really up? Like,
okay, God don't like that.
God don't like ugly, and y'all looking real.
Come on, man. Like, are you elevating the closing experience? Like, usually they charge you. They have like a transaction coordinator, compensate for their fees, showing coordinators to make, it more. What's the
more seamless of an experience for them
for your buyers to go see homes when they want to go see them. I feel like I like that if you're elevating the experience.
But I feel like it's I'm River the realtor, so pay me double, but get nothing. It's like that's so like I don't like that. Yeah. But people, I feel like a lot of buyers, because they're uneducated about the process, like they getting kind of scammed into like thinking that that's the norm and still not getting anything.
Yeah. I can't tell you how many consultations I've had where I'm talking to a client and they're like, okay, so I want to make sure that you get paid. So like, how much do I have to give you? And they're always surprised when I'm like, no, as a buyer, my services are free to you. Now, again, I haven't gotten to that place where I think I'm ready to start charging my clients a hefty amount. And I think it heavily also depends. I shouldn't say
it's hefty because that's what they be getting charged now. Hefty amount.
It'd be that earners money. I'd be like, oh my gosh. I haven't gotten to that place yet. And I think it also, like Nika said, it depends on the price point.
Yeah.
I'm not going to charge someone who's approved for a super low amount, may not have a lot of cash reserves, a lot of money compared to someone who may want a better experience, who's approved multi-million-dollar jumbo loan, then that's a little different.
Break me off a little.
Yeah.
No, for real, if you don't want to work with that price point, just don't. Like, don't abuse the buyer. Like,
exactly.
Just don't work with them.
Because as agents, people have to remember too, like, people, the clients or the buyers, they choose us as their agents, but we also choose the clients that we want to work with. Yep. So if you don't want to accept a client at a certain price point, just don't do it. Don't even waste their time, their money, their resources. Just
refer it out.
I love how we always add that disclaimer, like, well, we're not charging right now. However,
things happen.
Let's not call me in 2 months.
We'll do a commission follow-up episode next year and just see where if these ladies are charging hefty amounts.
Because I think it's warranted, but I think it gets to a point where it's too much. It's like, all right, now that's my mortgage payment. You guys,
y'all not getting my mortgage. I promise y'all that.
Like, girl, what? You want how much? Okay.
Yeah. Okay. And speaking of, do you want how much? My last and final question is: do you all think that realtors should get a base salary?
Oh, immediately no. That's the easy one for me. That's the easiest one.
That's the first one she said.
You have asked today. No, because every deal is different. Like, you're not about to pay me $50,000 for showing 50,000 houses versus paying $50,000 and not showing 3 houses.
Yeah.
No.
I think a lot of times too, like, because I know of commission-based careers or job roles or positions, I guess, that have a base salary plus commission. Okay. And a lot of times, like, they can do that, but they put a cap on the commission.
No.
Or like they like, you can't have it all. So a lot of times there's stipulations. I've seen jobs like that. I've in the past, I've applied for jobs where I would make a base salary and I'll get a commission, but they gonna put a ceiling on it.
A ceiling.
So
usually like a base, a commission, and some stocks and some.
Yeah, I'll take a stock. Some
all
options.
The things.
I'll take that.
No,
I'll take a stock in a big company.
Okay.
If you was at like your last brokerage, I would take a stock in that. Yeah,
take some stock
for sure.
For sure, yeah.
I think that was a tricky one for me. I'm not gonna lie. That was kind of like the hardest one I was like talking about. I think that I wouldn't mind a little base salary. Like, I'm not gonna lie.
Nice. It's nice.
You wouldn't mind if your brokerage is offering base salaries? On top of your commission?
But I mean, I need no cap on the commission.
Yeah, I think that's one of those things where it's like, okay, in a perfect world, yes, I could get a $50,000 base and some commission. Like, yeah, that's never going to happen. I kind of agree though. As much as that appeals to me, I kind of think that the commission-based role, because I think the other thing is, and I don't mean this in a mean way, y'all, but I want the dead weight to fall off. And I think if we start giving realtors base salaries, some of you dead weights would stay around longer. No offense, but sometimes like people get into real estate and like this is not really what you want to do. Like it's just become too much, and I think that'll just lead people on to being in this business much longer, just to still not be in this business. I think the commission structure sets it up for those who are going to be successful, for those who are just not really cut out for the business to press on and let real estate be a distant memory of your past.
Yep. Yeah.
So
I agree with that. I like that because I was just about to say, well, maybe for a newer agent.
But then what stops the newer agent from like
from
not continuing
maybe the
base
small base salary plus the cap, because I mean really not much to do with it. But as you like growing and you're producing and like these high levels, like the potential is endless.
Yeah. You can literally make the
Get
base
that
salary in a month.
Away from me.
Not away from me.
Bring me both.
But I like that part too. Like, let's weed everybody out.
Yeah, I like that's the one thing I like about this. It's really like survival.
Yeah.
Who can be the last lady or man?
Yeah.
It's giving Wipeout. Y'all used to watch them like
knocking
each other off.
And Real Talk Atlanta is still here. So.
Yep.
Period.
She'll be back next week.
She'll be back.
She's still here.
I love that. The smoke didn't get y'all too bad.
The smoke got me. I'm gonna go home and think about these questions because I don't know if I answered them right today. I might change my mind. I'm gonna comment on it though.
We'll do that. So I think that is a good where.
Oh yes.
And let's do our favorite segment of the day with our realtor bae,
Ashley Lorraine.
I like the middle for you.
Oh, I like this.
Yes.
Keep it coming.
I'm sorry, man.
So yes, the question of the day, that's our favorite segment of the show. If this is your first time tuning into us, we have this segment where we take questions from you guys, our audience, and you can submit your questions to us on Instagram. So be sure to follow us at Real Talk Atlanta or send us an email at realtalkatlpod@gmail.com. So for today's question, one of our listeners, Nick, wanted to know, what was that moment in time? Hey, Nick. One of our listeners wanted to know, what was that moment in time where we decided that we really wanted to pivot into real estate from our other careers?
Oh, easy for me. So I'm still in it, but I'm in marketing and advertising. And like, we were in a meeting for 30 minutes arguing about if we should add a period to the end of this sentence to the board. They were like, no, we shouldn't add a period. And I'm just in the meeting like, nobody cares. Like, put the period, no period. It's not good. And I told this is when I was living in New York. And I went home. I was like, y'all, this is not for me. Like the impact, I need something more impactful. And I had always been interested in like housing, but I didn't want to do real estate in New York just because it just seemed so different.
Yeah.
So when I got down here, like I immediately put into action, like, when am I going to get this done? And thank the Lord I was laid off from that job.
Period.
That I was able to get into real estate because I was like, I am not about to sit here and argue with y'all about should you put a period on the end of this sentence for 20 minutes.
That's wild.
You're kidding me.
Taisha won't even argue with us about things that we feel are important. She'd be like,
Yeah.
Not doing that. No, I think mine is similar. Like I wasn't arguing with anybody about periods at the end of the sentence, but I was working in finance, like HR/finance. If y'all know me,
are you good at
they don't really see me working in finance and HR. Like it was so stuffy. It was just not really me. And I kind of hated my job. But like I'm one of those people, I'm not finna give up. Look, my Chicago coming. I'm talking about finna. I'm never going to give up financial security, benefits, all of that good jazz for a dream.
Mm-hmm. Someone else's dream at that.
Somebody else's dream that wasn't even paying me enough. And I just kept saying like, oh, I'm going to do this. I'm going to quit. But I just could not give it up. I could not give it up. They were like, well, you may not be able to give it up, but we're going to give you up. You are fired. So I was like, yes.
Sometimes that thing be coming in.
I needed to be like pushed into it because it really is hard to make that on your own and just know like you left. You also cannot get unemployment if you quit. So I got fired.
I didn't even know that.
No, if you quit, they're going to be like, no, you asked for this. So that don't work like that. So when I got fired from working at that bank, shout out to Regions Bank. That was my pivot. I was just like, this is the moment. I feel like God was putting me in position to be able to like take a chance on myself because I had no job. So it's like now or never type thing. And it was like, this is your moment to make it work for yourself. And I'm like, if it don't, it don't. But at least now I can't say that I quit my job to do this. Like, I'm trying to make something shaking. It's shaking.
It's shaking.
It's shaking. It's giving salt and pepper.
What's it? Shake the table.
Polaroid. Give Polaroid. I'll say for me, I was working in public health and it was something I think me, like even going into the healthcare thing, my parents, they're really old school and traditional. They always thought like you grow up, graduate high school, go to college, get your degree, and you like work in a field where like it's pretty consistent. Everyone's going to need healthcare at some point. So that's kind of why I got into it. I think I was listening to a lot more of their insight and not necessarily what I wanted to do. But I got into public health, and I do love public health still, but it's crazy. I was in healthcare, but it didn't feel as fulfilling as it does in real estate. Like I feel like I help people a lot more in real estate than I ever did in public health. So I would literally sit at my desk, y'all, I'm not kidding, and cry. Like I hated my job. I worked for the state.
You had a desk.
Yeah. Yo, you didn't have well, were you like a teller? I don't know.
Oh, I just didn't.
I would literally sit at my desk and cry, or on my lunch break, go in my car and cry. And I'm just like, this cannot be it for me. And I hate to say this, but I worked with a lot of older people too. And it was almost like a mirror. Like I was like, I don't want that to be me in 20 years. Like I want a lot more for myself. I was like, I just got to get out of here. So, honestly, real estate was never really on my mind. I just kind of prayed and it just fell into my lap. And I would literally sit at my desk at work and do my real estate course. And then once I passed the test, I was gone. Period. I put a 1 week notice in, not even 2. So
that's right. I'm out of here.
I ain't getting no notice. I got a pink slip. But no, honestly, thank God for growth, because I think that's what put us all here right now. So if you feel like it's your time to pivot. Don't be scared. And yeah. I love this. I hope that this episode, if not nothing, teaches y'all to pay y'all realtor and pay them adequately and fairly.
Yes.
Yeah, we love that. So we will see y'all next time on an episode of Real Talk Atlanta.
Bye, guys.
Bye.